Gratitude in abundance. I already had made this video one time, and for some reason it didn't pick up any of my audio, nor did it pick up the audio of the videos I was playing. So I'm redoing this video. They're not gonna stop shit. Y'all not stopping shit. We back at it with more energy at that. Fuck it. So this is a video. This is gonna further prove my point, coming out of a complex cell organism's mouth, that they're genetically modified.
Humanity in test tubes in their labs as a slave race to help them mine gold. When the Great Flood happened in Atlantis some 13,000 years or so ago, and all of these extraterrestrial leaders, reptilians, said, this is getting crazy, we're going to get in our spaceships and we're going to leave Earth. We're not staying on this planet that feels so volatile with all these floods and everything. So they left. But what they did was they left these human workers, miners, and they also left a few people of their lineage, their bloodlines, to carry out the royal reptilian legacy on the planet. Their bloodlines are still very much present. Oprah Winfrey, Rothschilds, Lady Gaga, Tom Hanks, like the entire royal family.
This is not the point I wanted to use. Let's go down, because I wanna get into a point.
They question how to go. I can go with that number, but after sleep, this is what this entity wanted to create, and that's exactly what they got. That's why their brains, their prefrontal lobe and their frontal lobe, is completely underdeveloped, and it won't grow because guess what? Ago, I can go with that number, but I would say a little about 300,000 years ago this started. But 250,000 years ago, yes, 60,000 years ago is when they started with these, when they started genetically manipulating.
Reptilians came to Earth because Earth was a very gold-rich planet. So they needed gold to support the atmosphere of their own planet. When they came to Earth, they created humanity in test.
Why do they need the gold to support their atmosphere? That's the one question that I would ask these people, since they know this, or they supposedly to happen. Why do they need gold to support their atmosphere?
In their labs as a slave race to help them mine gold. When the Great Flood happened in Atlantis some 13,000 years or so ago, and all of these extraterrestrials, 2,000 years, it is
particles. Wrong, y'all playing with the
Earth and our solar system had.
My fault, my people. I'm just trying to.
Who did they create? Who fits the characteristics of these very intelligent?
Picking up their louche energy, which is all their negative energy of stress and drama and fighting and gossip and envy and lack and victim consciousness and greed and power, and they don't need.
Now, now when she just named all that, what race or species fit that? We got you up off all fours.
Where we take our potential is up for debate. This is what the Anunnaki did not plan for. They didn't forecast for this. Right now, the Earth and our solar system is moving into the photon band. So for the next 2,000 years, it is the age of Aquarius.
Pause. Now watch this. Now watch how they use feminine and masculine. Now you know good and goddamn well the feminine energy is not some white woman or complex cell organism, and some masculine energy. Watch this shit.
It is the age of light. It is the age of the rise of the.
Are you kidding me? This one can't even go near the sun. All of us.
Exactly. So I actually wanted to ask. I want to ask the woman speaking a question, because if we're going into a photon bond or belt, whatever she said, if we know photons to be light, that would be the tip of a sun ray. Photons, that's what emits photons. So if we know today that your people cannot even take the sun, meaning that you can't biosynthesize the sun, and the sun is actually trying to heal you, but because you're not compatible with it, it's actually ending your life. My question would be, how is it that you're gonna be able to make it through the age of light? I'm very confused here. How are you gonna make it through the age of light? I'm just gonna be honest here. How? Very weird. Okay. I mean, all right. That's just my question. Any complex cell organism that can answer that question.
Sutton is divine? Are you kidding me?
feminine. It's the age of the rise of the divine masculine.
The divine masculine? Are you serious? When y'all get together, y'all like to grab on each other's phalluses and play with boys. Are you kidding me? Get out of here.
The age of freedom, sovereignty, abundance, financial freedom. This is the age that Earth and our solar system had moved into.
All right, well, let me explain something to you.
I really needed this point. Where is it? I believe it's right here somewhere.
Work.
Mind go. When the Great Flood happened in Atlantis some 13,000 years or so ago, and all of these extraterrestrial, how could Enki do this? Enki was the geneticist behind the whole production of the human species. So what he did was he manipulated the DNA in order for humans to ascend and reproduce. Now when the
in order for humans to ascend and reproduce. So she's basically saying that they didn't have a right to reproduce. Now, I want to go to another video. Hold on. Because we're going to get down to this. Anything that cannot reproduce itself is therefore not natural to the planet. I want that to be extremely clear. And as my very first video, I literally showed proof that white people are having more deaths than births, and in Japan, the Japanese people are having more deaths than births as well. So that means that they're becoming sterilized, meaning that their reproductive organs aren't working anymore. They're being stripped of the right to reproduce that they actually got from the so-called black woman at that. So I'll come back to this later after I get through all of this, because again, I've already did this video, but it's all good. We finna do this shit again.
Hatred. Here we go.
And we're all here to tell you the real situation with the climate so that you can understand once and for all that the situation humanity is in right now has never occurred in the planet's entire history.
Never occurred in your history. Never occurred in your history. You never seen the planet without the ozone layer, but we did. You never seen the planet with the red sun and the blue Kachina, but we did. Not in your history. Listen, let's go hand in hand. I'm going to get back to the song. I want you to remember the part.
So basically, they're all emotional because climate change, or there's a problem with the climate, they say, because again, the sun is getting hotter and hotter every single year. And if I was in their shoes, I'd be emotional too, because they have complications with the sun, and they've been lying to so-called black people for quite some time, saying that we're all the same. Black people, we don't know that something's wrong with the climate. We're going off of what these complex cell organisms are saying. I ain't having no problem with summer last year, and I'm damn sure not gonna have no problem this year. And it's been getting hotter and hotter and hotter. The UV index is going up. It's rising every year. So that's all I want to use for this bit. I'm going to try to skim through it because, again, it's late at night. It's 11 p.m. right now, and I already did this, so I'm just trying to get it. Shout out to my motherfucking brother, nigga. Shout out to my motherfucking brother, Denzel. My nigga, this my brother right here, Denzel. Got it. I want to show it literally let me show his name before. Okay, boom, right here. His name, Denzel Tawoto 1. Y'all go follow him on TikTok. This brother knows what the fuck he talking about. He knows what the fuck he talking about when it comes down to genetics and all that good stuff. Go follow him. He know what the fuck he talking about. Let's go.
And gratitude to all my brothers and sisters around the whole planet. You see what I'm saying? We are one people, and we are solar-based people. And I really wanted to dive into genetics because your genetics is the material that you're made up of. You see, your phenotype is determined by your genetics and biology. So we don't obviously have the same phenotype as everybody on the planet. So why are we classified as one human race? Why are we classified as this? And your scientists that we so-called have today don't want to talk about how there's different types of melanin. Always trying to say that we have one melanin spectrum and there's dark and light. That's false. We don't have the same type of melanin. We don't have the same type of information that our cells follow to construct that suit that we're in today. So again, when it says here, genetics play an essential role on how an organism looks, behaves, and reproduces. And this is why I keep saying your psychological state is connected to your gene. You see what I'm saying? Your phenotype is connected to your gene. Your blood is connected to your gene. And so-called black people, we don't have animal DNA. And here's all the melanin classifications that all organisms of life fall under. And your DNA is equivalent to the melanin that you fall under.
And that's 100% facts, because pheomelanin only pertains to animals, right? So pheomelanin, you're not going to find a black person with pheomelanin because that's animal-based melanin. You're not going to find a black person with eumelanin because that's animal-based melanin. You're only going to find so-called black people with neuromelanin. You're only going to find so-called black people, one more time, with neuromelanin, because neuromelanin is condensed sunlight, and it absorbs the sun, and it is the sun. And remember, last video, the sister Skywatcher broke it down and said SOL equals the sun. Yes, if you look up the etymology of soul, SOL, it means the sun, bro. It literally means the fucking sun. So we have to cut the bullshit and stop saying that we are all one people, because that's just not true.
And today we're going to focus on pheomelanin and neuromelanin. It says here, pheomelanin is more abundant in all tissues of birds, mammals, especially feathers and hair, relative to those of amphibians and reptiles. So pheomelanin is just animal melanin. This melanin, this genetic information, is for all the animal kingdom. That's what it's for. And here we got neuromelanin, a pigmentation of the locus coeruleus, which is your epithalamus gland, or your third eye, or your first eye, really, the black dot, the uppermost center of the pigmentation, the doorway into a black hole or black hole of blackness. The neuromelanin amenta nerve tract, and all amenta means, it means the afterlife. You see what I'm saying? Or the spiritual side of life, of the world. And neuromelanin is the only molecule that is condensed sunlight, that can condense sunlight. You see what I'm saying? And these molecules, or these nanodiamonds that we have here, are little genetic seeds from where stars are born. And if you look up how stars are born, that Big Bang Theory, that's the same thing that happens inside of a so-called black woman during the gestation period. And it says here, there's truly a connection between black or dark matter that constructs much of the unseen universe and the subtle living matter that construct our very bodies, brains, and nervous system. And you see what I'm saying? And your neurons are not just in your brain. They're all over your body, called sensory neurons. You see what I'm saying? That's how you have sensory input and output, and all of that information gets sent to your brain through liquid chemical messages. This is all to show that DNA, or DEA, is equivalent to the type of melanin that you have. And neuromelanin, again, is condensed sunlight. So we are the sun walking in the flesh. We are solar-based beings. You see what I'm saying? And everybody outside of us has pheomelanin, because they are spliced with multiple animals that cannot naturally reproduce with each other. And all these animals that they're spliced with have a nucleus. Black people, so-called black people, we don't have a nucleus. Everything is programmed by our neuromelanin.
So I want to say a big shout out to my brother Denzel. Very informative. I ain't gonna say he taught me anything, because we don't teach each other, we reach each other. So he reached me and reminded me of information that was lost. So I want to say big shout out, gratitude, and abundance to my brother. Let's move on.
This time about cat.
Boom. So hold up, I forgot to go back a little bit. Close this. So boom, already gotta go. Nope. See, this is why I kind of hate that it just fucked up where I was at and things of that nature. I'm not even sure where the hell I was. I was at bone density. Boom, bone density. Let's get it. Hold up, probably gotta go back a little bit more. Boom.
All right, now check this out. This graph shows the average bone density of African American black men and women, and for Caucasian white men and women. Y'all see that? I'm still on, Anna. It says the bone density is quite a bit higher. Hold on, quite a bit higher in the African Americans. It is also higher in men than in women. So not only do we have more bone, and that's the reason why is because we was made to protect the black woman. That's why our shoulders is more broader than the so-called black woman. Usually we are more taller than the black woman. If you check our femurs, we have more bone densities. I mean, like everything about us, our hands are bigger than theirs. That shows you that we really are the providers and the protectors of the black goddess. We like the security detail, family. It says it is also higher in men than it is women. Asian persons tend to have bone density that is as low or even lower than Caucasians. You see that? It says they need magnesium, and the calcium lie. The bone need magnesium. Calcium is just a little bitty factor when it comes to bone. What makes strong bones is magnesium, it's not calcium. I have a book called The Calcium Lie 1, 2, and 3 that will blow your socks off. And it got all articles in there proving this stuff. It says about this. Then it says Hispanic people have bone density is about the same or as little as higher than the Caucasian, showing you that the Hispanic people is very, very closer to our DNA than a lot of people.
And the reason why Hispanic people are closer to our DNA is because they came off of the graping of the black woman. That's how Hispanics got here. They weren't seeded here like the Asian, Arab, and white man, but they're still unnatural to the planet because they came off a grape. They're still not natural to the planet. They're not connected. I know a lot of Hebrew Israelites want to say that, you know, the Hispanics and the so-called Native Americans or the $5 Indian niggas, there are people, no, they're not. They're not at all. Because if you look at genetics shows that we're not the same at all.
Boom. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. I know y'all don't like to hear it, but it is. The difference in bone densities are seen even in kids or children. A kid is a baby goat. It says the next graph shows the bone density at the hip in girls. Now you wonder why our young black girls got hips and butts and they only 14 years old. That's because they have a lot of nutrients in that area. That's why they hips spread out the way they doing everything, y'all. That's why, yes, you got to keep brothers with your daughters. Watch them, protect them. Make sure you installing all types of different morality codes and laws into them because they look good. So you and another brother or somebody else will take advantage of that. So we have to install culture into our black babies, y'all. Straight up. It says the next graph shows bone densities at the hips in girls. This was a study done by Dr. Laurel Bachrach, a member of the scientific review board. She measured the bone density in hundreds of kids who live near San Francisco. The African American black girl and boys had higher bone density than the Caucasian and white, Asian, or Hispanic children. Now look at the graph. I'm not making this up. I didn't make this graph. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? And I'm not here trying to start no race war or nothing like that. So y'all don't be going back and forth with each other on here. Please.
So boom, you seen that we have different bone density, and remember, genetics creates all of that. Genetics is what creates us, showing us that we're not the same. Just like a elephant has different bone density, just like a lion has different bone density, we have a different bone density than these people. We are not the same biologically. Let's moving on.
So I would
shout out to my sister right here. Y'all go follow her. Everybody go follow my sister right here on TikTok, Jay Shawty. Jay Shawty, 2 Y's and an underscore. Y'all go follow her. She tapped in like a motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie. She tapped in again, has reached me and reminded me of different things. So I want to say abundance and gratitude and appreciation to her. Let's get to it.
I was in this live yesterday and I was listening to a sister basically tell like 300 people that the people that are using 23andMe are getting ready to be cloned and replaced. Now, the sister was just giving her opinion, and she made sure that she said that it was just her strong opinion, but I'm here to shed some light on the facts. So when we're talking about cloning, gene splicing, gene editing, the tool that's used for that is known as CRISPR-Cas9. So CRISPR-Cas9 is where they take UV light and they splice into cells so that they can go in and edit the genetic material. So as so-called black people, all of our cells are coded in neuromelanin. So if we all had the same melanin, we would all phenotypically present the same. But what separates us from everybody else is that our cells are coded in neuromelanin, which is the only molecule that can condense sunlight and is condensed sunlight. So if in order for a cell to be spliced into, you have to use UV light, there is actually no way for you to cut into light using light. It's just gonna absorb itself just like a black hole. Now hear me clearly, because I'm not saying that this man and this man is the same. What I'm saying is that the world is a stage.
Exactly. So you can't cut into light with light. That don't make any sense. Therefore, they wish that they could go up to that sun up there, and they wish that they can pull DNA and information from it to figure out what the fuck it is and what it truthfully does. But they can't, so they try to do it with us. And guess what? You still can't, because we're condensed sunlight and we're the sun walking in the flesh. Let's go.
This is a genetic thing.
Okay, boom. Right here. So this shows how they cannot deal with us physically. Meaning that we shouldn't be teaching our children to load up guns, how to fight. We shouldn't be teaching our children none of that, because this species can't even handle us physically. Because it doesn't matter how erratic and crazy these people might seem. Nigga, even if this was a so-called black woman right here, these motherfuckers couldn't handle her. I promise you. They're weak compared to us. Let's go.
Follow me? This is factual. Look at the strength.
Sit down, sit down.
He's even underneath of us.
First of all, look at where he at. Grab his legs. Grab him and hold him. Grab him and hold him. Look, for real, if he really wanted to with her, he could have bench pressed her and threw her ass to the bench. But look, watch this. She gonna land on top of him. Really? Man, if you don't stop playing with me, get the fuck off of me. Are you serious?
Are you helping or hindering?
Huh?
You gotta get up. You gotta get up, Shaper.
Okay, sure. Jump it off.
Get up, Shaper. Get up, Shaper. Get up. Get up, Shaper. Come on, Whitmore. Hey.
Look, get out of here.
Up, ceasefire.
Ceasefire. That's why the gun was created.
Exactly. That's why the gun was created, because they can't handle us physically. Look, both of the motherfuckers would have been deceased. Both of them motherfuckers would have been deceased. I'm just gonna be completely honest. So we need to be teaching our children genetics so that we understand this other species. We shouldn't be teaching them how to protect themselves physically. What's the point? That's bullying at this point. These motherfuckers can't handle us. But anyways, I'm done with this video. Let's move on.
Abundance.
Boom. Shout out to my brother again. Like I said, Denzel Tuwodo. Go follow him. Let's get straight into it.
And gratitude to all my brothers and sisters throughout the whole planet. You see what I'm saying? Because we all one people. And one thing that I really want our people to start understanding is that DNA solves all issues that we're dealing with today. You see what I'm saying? DNA, or the genetic material that you possess, solves all issues, because you will start to understand that our genetic makeup, our biological makeup is completely different than everybody outside the so-called black race. You see what I'm saying? Or our species. Because their genetic makeup, their molecular makeup is sulfur, ammonia, and nitrogen oxide. And they are spliced from multiple animals that cannot naturally reproduce with each other. Our DNA, our cells cannot be spliced or cut into, because once you start to do that process with ultraviolet light, our cells will open up and close right back up after it absorbed the light. You see what I'm saying? And it behaves like a black hole. It just traps in the light, and you can't take genetic information in and put it out. You see what I'm saying? But with their cells, you can do that, and they're doing it to this day, called CRISPR-Cas9. You see what I'm saying? CRISPR-Cas9, electrical fusion of different animal genetics to make one organism. This is how they're able to be here today, because I don't see a chimpanzee, I don't see a pig coming together to make these people. These people are not 100% of anything. So again, once we start to understand our genetic makeup, we will start to understand that we biologically identify with the whole planet, and we naturally evolve not with just the planet, but with the entire solar system. We biologically identify with the universe. Earth is just one of our homes for so-called black people. You see what I'm saying? Because our molecular structure is the same thing that is composed of what the sun is. Hydrogen, helium, oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen. You see what I'm saying? Our cells are prokaryotic cells and split through binary fission. Everybody outside of us has eukaryotic cells, and I'm gonna touch more up on that. But we're not the same species. And I really want us to know that while we're arguing about who's blacker than who, what landmass we come from, all of these things, if there's a war in the heavens, our children are getting snatched on a daily basis by the same species that is spliced with animals. 25 million of our children wake up every rising to go get psychologically evaluated by these same people who fed us to crocodiles, had us in human zoos. You see what I'm saying? All of these.
Exactly, and that's very concerning to me that we have just forgot all the atrocities that was done to us, especially you so-called black women. You forgot about when they were making nigga stew out of us. You forgot when they were hanging you upside down on a tree while you were pregnant, and they cut your stomach open, took the baby out and fed the baby to a crocodile. You forgot the horrific and just disturbing, gruesome things that was done to you. You forgot about that shit. But it's okay, we're waking up now.
All of these things that we can clearly see that your psychological state is connected to your genes. We can clearly see that.
Exactly. So your genealogy is directly connected to your psychological state, meaning that they share most of their DNA with a violent animal, the chimpanzee. And if you go study the chimpanzee in nature, it is erratic, it is very violent, and it is very reactive, meaning that it doesn't think before it does. It's very impulsive. And that's what these people are expressing today through that gene. Not only that gene, but there's other animals inside of their genetic makeup. They're very confused on top of the violent animals that they're spliced with. So they're an extreme problem. I'm gonna be honest, they're an extreme problem. We have to be extremely cautious when dealing with these people.
These people are spliced with multiple animals, and this is how they behave towards us, and we keep accepting them, and we keep wanting to work for them on a system that was built off our genocide.
Exactly. So let me go ahead and move on again. Go follow my brother Denzel Wodo. Oh, Denzel to Wodo, excuse me. Denzel to Wodo. And
all right, so
okay, boom, go follow my sister Skywatcher. If you go on, hold up. If you go on her TikTok, JShotty YY_, I believe she has a link to her YouTube, because I know it's kind of hard to look up. It's kind of hard to look up since she has the emoji in her name and shit like that. So go to her TikTok and you'll be able to click the link to her YouTube. But this is foods for the black anatomy, meaning what the prokaryotic cell is supposed to eat.
So let's discuss the types of fruits. I'm going to start out with fruits that are best for the black anatomy. Let's get into it. First of all, I want to reference the Divine Carbon series written by Tori and April Azam-Ra. Also, Dr. Yaki Awaken. Now, he will tell you himself he is not a doctor because he will not participate in Western medicine. Although he is an accredited herbalist, which they need just as much schooling and credentials as your Western medicine guy. All right, so the Divine Carbon is good, but I want to just state this disclaimer about this book and any other book that you read, including the Bible, that it is published through a specific group of people that I won't say. Right, we know them on the TikTok community as the Tiny Hat people, and that's all I'll say. Every book gets published through them. And so you have to understand that according to universal law, they have to give you the truth and the lie at the same time. Let's keep it pushing. All right, so we can eat mangoes. Mangoes are very good, but I want y'all to stay away from dried fruits like this. A lot of the times when you turn them around and you look at the ingredients, you'll see things like silicon dioxide or tricalcium phosphate. You don't need to be putting them nasty chemicals in your body. Keep it as natural as possible with just the actual fruit itself. We can definitely do cherries. Make sure that they're seeded. Peaches as well. Okay, and we can also do the burro banana. Just how they prepare them is the exact way I like to prepare mine. I also like to wait for them to ripen up a little bit and use them in a smoothie as a thickening agent as well. You can also, of course, do the plantain. And when it comes to berries, we want to do blackberries and blueberries. For grapes, you want to make sure that you only consume seeded grapes. If the grapes do not have seeds, leave them. Leave them. All right, and we definitely want to make sure that when we consume watermelon that it has seeds and that it's the elongated version. Stay away from hybrid species like the sugar baby, which is a eukaryotic organism. We want to definitely make sure that we consume the honeydew melon and the cantaloupe. And we can definitely consume the papaya and its seeds. If you're gonna consume the seeds, make sure that you swallow them whole with a herbal tea or some spring water or something, even a spoonful of agave with key lime, however you wanna do it. But make sure that you get into the papaya. Also, speaking of the lime, we wanna make sure that we stay away from the hybrid version and try to opt more for the key lime itself. And even when it comes to citric acid, anytime you need some type of citrus in your food, try to make sure that you're using the key lime or apple cider vinegar with the mother of the plant that's in it, because if you turn the cans around on a lot of these cans and vegetables, canned goods and stuff like that, there's an agent like in tomato paste called citric acid that is literal black mold. So the only type of natural citric acid we should be consuming is the one from the citrus fruit itself, because according to our anatomy, we are mainly frugivores. So we need to be consuming mainly fruit more than anything else. When they're talking about water consumption, they mean for you to eat your H3O2, which is what you get from fruits. All right, we're just gonna do fruits for right now, but I am gonna come back and talk about the specific foods that are good for the production of neuromelanin, which is, producing the pineal gland.
So boom, definitely go tap in with her videos. Extremely informative and definitely will remind you of a few things about genetics, anatomy, diet, the whole nine. You feel what I'm saying? So definitely go give her a subscribe, watch her videos, tap in. Let's move on.
Of the
Boom. So let's get this right here. Boom.
torture that have taken place with us. I want you to look at that. I want you to look at her face. I want you to look at that. Tell me what you truly see. Huh? Tell me what you truly see there. Huh? Tell me what you let Ike and Tina Turner, one family. You let a movie, Baby Boy, paint a broad picture of our entire species. And look at us today.
Exactly, and what he just stated, I have an extremely big problem with that. I'm gonna be completely honest. I have a big problem with us painting pictures of our brothers and sisters, because how can you sit here and look down the street at your own reflection and say that they're a thug, a gangster, a killer, a thought, a bitch, a nigga, but you look at this species and you want to kiss ass? You look at this species and you think they're the good people. You don't look at this species for what it truly is, but you will look at your own reflection with fault colors, ill will. Can you believe that shit? You're looking at your own reflection, somebody who looks just like you, who shares your genetic makeup. But you want to go and, like I said, kiss the asses of a complex cell organism who just had you in chains, nigga. Who just had you in zoos in 1958. Nigga, who just had your ass hanging from a tree, who was feeding you to crocodiles, who made purses and pocketbooks out of you. You just exempt all the shit that nigga has did, but want to look at your own people as a threat. Our judgment is going to be very crucial. A lot of us are going to cry, because a lot of us have chose to look at our own brothers and sisters out here as a threat, while this monster walks around you all day, and you give him a smile. But when your brother and sister walk past you, you want to mean mug them. You want to mean mug them. Your own reflection. But it's okay, because we're going back into a time where we're going to need each other again. We're going to need each other again. We won't have time to look at our reflection as a threat. We won't have time to do that shit no more, because we're going to need one another again. Y'all niggas better realize who the true enemy is. I'm done with that video. Moving on. Now, this is why, what I was just stating, I have a fucking big problem with us looking at our own brothers and sisters as threats when monsters like this are around us, around our motherfucking children, nigga. Come on. Hold up, I don't even want to start right there. I want to start, boom, right here.
Can I go in there and verify here?
Oh, yeah, please. We haven't seen it. Yeah, we haven't. It's on the towel.
Okay.
Why do you think it's that?
Because it looks like there's someone here.
Is it bloody or does it like anything like that?
I just need to come. That's what I like. Take a picture and send it to you.
Why would you have done that?
I've always wondered what murder felt like.
I'm not feeling too well.
You're not feeling too well? All right.
No, these past days I've been very, very anxious.
That's understandable. I'm going to turn on the air for you in a second. That way you're not too hot. Are you a hot-blooded or cold-blooded kind of guy?
I am very cold-blooded. I prefer cold.
Okay, fantastic. All right.
It's under this ring.
This gruesome discovery led to Brian Cohey's arrest, where he eerily confessed to the murder with unnerving calmness, citing a curiosity about what murder would feel like. The uncovered police interview reveals a truly evil young man.
I was driving along, and then as a homeless person, took the knife, I pulled back the canvas, and I stabbed his neck. He was panicking at first, and his old man voice, he was saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Why? Ah!" And I just kept on stabbing his neck.
Cohey appeared excited to tell the investigators all about his horrific crime. He even looked excited to be reliving the murder and relishing the memory.
This is him. I was strapped on top of him like this. And he couldn't fight back. It was actually surprising me. And during the time I was growling and making animalistic noises, I gave him a Glasgow smile.
He appeared excited to tell the...
So you just heard him say that He was making animalistic noises while taking the life of another living being. And he was excited. He wanted to know what it was like. We have to realize what these organisms are. We have to realize that they are put together organisms spliced with violent animals, and this is the reason why they do the things that they do. And it's not safe to be around these people. He had thoughts, so it all started with thoughts lingering in his head, wondering, what is it like? What is it like to take the life of another person? What is it like? I truly just want to know. I have to know. And then he eventually acted upon those emotions that he was having, and he reacted. He had that emotion and he reacted. These people are not safe to be around our children. They have proven this time after time after time after time. So excuse me if I feel like we need to separate from this beast. Moving on, bro. Let's go.
So you told somebody younger than you about a spiritual system that you just said you don't know, and that's my issue. Why do we keep passing down?
You know what? Let me tell you something. You know what I tell the young kids? I tell them Yahweh was the most powerful engineer in the world.
How you know? You just say you don't know.
Ingenuity.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
That's where I started.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that.
Okay.
You don't know that.
So man created his own world.
You don't know that.
So man created his own world.
You don't know that. One woman was here before man. I know that. That's what I do know.
What does that mean? We needed water to exist, so it had to be here.
I said woman, not water. Woman. Your mama was here before your father.
Maybe she was.
No, ain't no maybe. That's a fact.
Maybe she was.
Ain't no maybe. I don't do maybes, probablys, I don't knows, and if, ands, and maybe.
Maybe go to the book of Genesis.
Exactly. When you're coming into this knowing, nigga, you don't believe nothing anymore. You don't maybe your way out of some shit. Maybe this happened. No, nigga, you know when something happens. Nigga, you know this knowledge, nigga. Ain't nobody see because when you know, nobody can stray you away from your path, nigga, your purpose. Nobody can do that shit to you because you fucking know. You're looking at it. You're studying this shit yourself. Can't no nigga put a doubt in your motherfucking brain, bro. Can't no complex cell organism come in between you and try to play their little psychological mind games with you, nigga, because you know. This is why we tell you to study genetics. This is why we tell you to pick up them fucking books and read, bro. Because once you know, nigga, you fucking know. Nobody can ever tell you shit.
No, nigga. X chromosome was
Yahweh created man and woman. Then he specifically talks about a story of a man called Adam and then Eve.
Why you still listen? Woman was here before man. There's no way no woman. There's no way no man was. I don't give a fuck what Yahweh. Whoever said what. Woman was here first. So my thing is, let's just agree to stop saying anything about religion to younger children. I don't give a fuck what race they are. Let's stop passing religion. Let's stop passing religion down to these babies until we know. You said what makes
you think a woman was here first? I think we're going off the power and go down that path.
Okay, no.
We at this point in time, we should know the so-called black woman was the first organism on the planet. We should know that shit by now. And if you don't, go pick up a fucking book. How about that? I ain't arguing with no religious niggas. I'm not arguing with no Islams or Muslims, whatever the fuck. I'm not arguing with y'all niggas. I'm not arguing with y'all evolution theory niggas. I'm not arguing with y'all because I know this shit now. I don't gotta argue with y'all. So boom, we moved on. Let's get to this. Ooh, boom. Where was God during slavery? Let's see what this sister has to say.
slavery in the United States, he was watching, of course, sitting up there, kicked back, chilling, when black babies were being fed to alligators in front of crowds of white people. He was watching. When black enslaved people were being whipped and tortured and lynched, he was watching. He saw it all happen because he sees all. And not only did he watch it happen, he planned for it to happen. He knew it would happen from the very beginning because everything is within God's plan. And he also knew and planned for the slave masters to give their enslaved people Bibles to read that were called slave Bibles that just had verses from the Holy Bible, from God's holy text that was telling the enslaved people, look, God wants you to be a slave. And I mean, they weren't exactly wrong. God did want them to be slaves because he planned it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been there. And even if they had gotten there outside of God's plan, he wouldn't be able to just stand back and watch that happen for hundreds of years if he didn't want it. God during
Well, me listening to that, if I was a so-called black man, I mean, I am a so-called black man, excuse me. Then I'm a little tired, forgive me. It's almost 12. But as a so-called black man, and if you are a so-called black man and you're into religion, you're into the Hebrew Israelite bullshit, you're into any of that, it should be a fucking embarrassment that you believe that there's a nigga in the clouds that was watching your motherfucking women, your women, and your motherfucking children get brutalized, mutilated, set on fire, cooked, ate. Nigga, the God that so-called loves us so fucking much, watch that shit go down with his own motherfucking children. You don't feel embarrassed to follow that shit? You don't feel some type of way? Black man? And then you pushing this shit upon your women and children. You damn weak ass nigga. Fuck y'all niggas. For real, you're a weak ass. I ain't gonna call you that, but you a weak ass nigga. I swear to God. You're a weak ass nigga. To sit here and believe in a nigga who ain't do shit for your people. Talking to motherfuckers talking about, well, God did this for me. I know God's real because God did this for me. Yeah, nigga, he doing shit for you as an individual, but he can't do shit for the collective. Meanwhile, there's children getting snatched back to motherfucking back that look just like you. You hoe ass nigga. And you sitting here going, praying to God, saying, oh, God's real because of what he did for me. What about the children? Do the children not matter? And that's why I hate individualism, nigga. Because it's all about me. It makes you so damn selfish that we don't even think about our own species. We don't think about the whole. We only think about me. We don't ever think about we. I'm moving on, bro.
For which we will get.
I don't want to use that. What did I want after this? I'm trying to think. Let me see. Oh, boom, right here. Right here. Right here.
Those are our brothers and sisters. This is why you have this. What do Facebook got now? Meta what? Facebook what? Meta what? See this red.
So boom, you look at this. All these are from the 4 elements, and all these are what makes up the sun. This is what makes up so-called melanin right here. What they call melanin, what I'ma call the soul, what I'ma call the sun, aka the soul. This is what makes up that big ass bright light up there that you see, which that one's only a generator pulling in energy from our core sun. But our core sun is made of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, helium, and guess what? So is melanin. So-called black people, we are biologically the sun, and guess what? We're only operating out of these 20 amino acids right here. 64 amino acid codes. And guess what, nigga? Only 20 of them is activated right now. And and let me go back to this. Hold up. No, not that. Boom. So we go back to this video, how he easily handled 2 complex cell organisms by his motherfucking self. And guess what he did that off of? No, really. Guess what he did that off of? Only 20 amino acids activated. So imagine if this whole all of our amino acids was motherfucking activated. Just imagine. No, literally, just fucking imagine. Just fucking imagine if all of our amino acids was activated. My brother, my sister, what would you be? What would you be? Because we already know that you're the son walking in the flesh. So what the fuck are you gonna turn into after all your shit is activated? Come on, we moving on. Oh, this is my channel content. Don't need that. This is what I need right here. Oh, they gonna give us an ad.
Ever seen a military monocular lens that can zoom in on objects miles away? You're about to. Dude, you gotta hear about this thing. It's like having the eyes of a hawk.
Peace.
Boom. Damn, bro. I need a specific part. See, this that shit I'm trying to tell you. Sugars, the 5-carbon sugar in DNA. Deoxyribose, nucleic acid, that's DNA. RNA, the sugar and ribose. Oh yeah, carbon, sugar, and sugar is melanin. All of it's the same thing. This is why we eat fruits with fructose, because fructose feeds our carbon. That's what the sister was talking about with shit that feeds neuromelanin. It's literally sugar, because melanin and sugar is the same shit. It's all the same shit once you start reading, if you want to be completely honest. But this is not what I wanted to talk about right here. I was looking for something specific. Right here, boom, right here.
Talking about the prokaryotes and being in the black woman, and I most definitely agree with that, bro. I've been teaching this for years, and they saying the same thing. And we got some Caucasians saying the same thing.
With esoteric knowledge and supreme science from the Anunnaki that eradicates Christianity in totality. So with that being said, it is a motherfucking fact that the melanated black woman is God, considering the fact that the first organism on the planet was a prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cells extract prokaryotes. Prokaryotes are found inside the black woman's womb, which is also a conductor of melanin through cymatic frequencies, because melanin is an intelligence molecule that gives black women the capabilities to perform parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis is when a woman is able to fertilize and impregnate herself without a man being present. So the whole
and how does she do that? By extracting the semen through bone marrow. Because remember that trend, again, I said this in my last video, remember the trend where they're making bone marrow babies? The black woman does not need a man in order to procreate. She just created the black. There's a black. First of all, I want to make this very clear, brothers. There's a black man on every single planet, but the black man isn't necessarily needed in order to continue the legacy, or maybe I'm saying that wrong. Not legacy, but continue the bloodline. My fault. I don't know why. See, I'm tired. But the black woman does not need the black man in order to continue the bloodline. But the black man, we was always created. But remember, nigga, it's a fucking privilege. I told y'all this in my last video. It's a privilege to be on this planet right here. Especially now, a lot of y'all niggas want to sit there, get coochie all day, go fuck off, and do you. I'm gonna tell you right now, do that shit while you can, my nigga. Do that shit while you can, my nigga. Do it while you can. I'ma just be honest with you. Do that shit while you fucking can, because at one point in time, I mean, in the upcoming future, you ain't getting that shit no more. You gonna have to focus on being the motherfucking black man, the protector, because we ain't doing a goddamn thing right now. Our babies are getting snatched up just like that, and y'all niggas out partying, drinking, smoking, fucking. Y'all doing all this other stupid ass bullshit, but you can't even protect our motherfucking children. You weak ass black niggas. I'm just gonna be honest. I ain't talking down on my brothers. I'm holding you accountable because our babies are being snatched up and we're supposed to be the motherfucking protectors. You seen that, nigga? Our bone density is much higher than the black woman's because we supposed to be the motherfucking protectors, but we letting our motherfucking children and women go missing. What type of disgrace are we, nigga? The fuck? And because we're not protecting the black woman, that leaves the black child vulnerable because now this beast has gotten to the mind of our women. And now all this bullshit is happening, all this disconnect between us and the motherfucking black woman because we're not protecting, we're not doing our motherfucking job. Protect our babies, my nigga. Step the fuck up. Just because a star seed, just because you ain't spark, just because you ain't released into that woman and have that spark of life happen with the egg, and that child didn't come from you, does not mean that's not your motherfucking child. Every so-called black child is your motherfucking child, and we have to be protecting our children regardless, because that's our duty as a black man. And if you want to take it a step further, really, we're the protectors of all children because all children are innocent regardless of the genetic makeup. But we need to protect ours first. I'm gonna let y'all know that. So that's what I wanted to use on this video. Do I need anything else? Oh, hold on. It was something else that I definitely wanted to show. I believe it's might be in this video. No, it was in this video. Definitely in this video. Boom. Let's get right here.
Whatsoever, but on the outside it looked purty. You see, it looked purty. This is what.
So back, let's take it a step back because this is a great point right here that I want to go ahead and drive my point home real quick. You see how the GMO, meaning genetically modified organism, meaning it's not natural. It didn't undergo natural reproduction in order to get here. So it has no seeds, meaning it doesn't have a reproductive system, right? It can't reproduce itself. This is it for this. It can't reproduce itself. Now, let's go back to what she said. She said that they gave the Anunnaki or Inky, whatever the fuck they want to call that nigga, the reptilians gave them the right, even though, like I said, it came through the black women, but they were given the right to reproduce because at first they weren't able to reproduce. Why? Because they're genetically modified organism. They're not natural to the planet, nor are they natural to the motherfucking cosmos. So this is why they weren't able to reproduce, but we're going back to that. We're going back to them not being able to reproduce because if you watch my very first video, my very first hour video, it's gonna show you that white people are dying faster than they're being born. Why? Because they're being sterilized. I already said this. Sterilized means that their reproductive organs are turning off. It's no longer working. They're not able to reproduce. They're going back to that. And this further proves my point. Genetically modified apple with no motherfucking seeds, it can't continue its bloodline. And I know, you know, apples don't have blood, but I'm speaking, you get it. I'm not gonna explain it. You get it. So they can't continue its bloodline. This is it for the motherfucking apple. It's a genetically modified organism. It has no motherfucking seeds. Now, boom.
What they taught you to do, they told you to do not know what's in me. How you not know how I work and operate? How does this beast know you better than me? How does this beast know you better than me? How do you inside? So how do you?
So boom, you go into that organic apple. Boom, what you see that? Boom, boom. Those are seeds. They're able to reproduce, meaning that it is natural. It is conducive to the planet. It is natural. These people didn't have the right to reproduce when they were very first created. Do you not understand that? They weren't able to reproduce. They didn't have that right. And they're going back to not having that fucking right. They're dying faster than they're being born because they're not natural to the planet. What are y'all not understanding? You eat an apple with no seeds. You can't regrow that apple and make more of those apples. No, nigga, you have to go get natural motherfucking apples that are able to be reproduced. Like, what the fuck? Let's stop the bullshit, bro. Y'all understand this. Stop acting as if we don't get this shit. We fucking get this shit. So my people, let's stop acting stupid. Let's stop acting dumb, okay? Do the fucking homework. These complex cell organisms are not natural to our planet. They're a put together organism put together with multiple different animals in order to make a organism. That is not natural. It's an abomination. I'm gonna be completely fucking honest. It's an abomination. Not saying that I want any harm to go to them. I'm not saying that. I don't want anything bad to happen to them. But as so-called black people, natural, melanated, carbonated beings, we have to realize who the fuck we're dealing with. We're dealing with an unnatural species with an expiration date. Do you not understand that? When a beast back is against the wall, it becomes violent, nigga. It's gonna try to survive by any means necessary. So be cautious of these people. Nigga, be cautious. But anyways, like I said, any brother or sister's video that I use today, please go follow them. Please go follow them. Tap into their videos and do the homework yourself, my reflections. My brothers and sisters, do the motherfucking homework yourself and spread it to the star seeds. Spread it to your people so that we can all know. Because once we all know, nothing can come between us. Gratitude and abundance.